Welcome, this is Shakti Carola Navran with your weekly power astrological forecast. So if you have been following for a while, you know that just getting prepared for the coming week really helps you to make better decisions and to be kind of aware what celestial waves are coming at you and breaking. And I'm living on Maui, so we are in the middle of the ocean on this tiny little spot, and every child on Maui knows you can't fight a wave, but you can learn how to surf it. And when you do that, it's very, very exhilarating, it's fun, it's exciting. So lots of people here on the island are very passionate about surfing and being in the ocean. So with astrology, I look at it kind of, it's a similar thing. You learn how to surf the celestial waves, the energies, the frequencies, the themes coming at you. So my intention with these forecasts is to prepare you and lift your awareness, open your awareness for what's up, the subject of the week. That's what I'm concentrating on. And with that, you will be more aware and you will be able to make better decisions. So in astrology, we know there's a whole variety of forms and expressions in the world of manifestation a chart can take. So a chart is kind of your blueprint for this lifetime. But what I can't see as an astrologer is what you do with it in the world of form. So there's always what we call the low-end way of possibilities and the high-end way of possibilities, how those archetypes symbolized by the planets and the signs and the houses connecting with each other through the aspects, how that will play out. So my intention for these weekly forecasts is to kind of crystallize the subjects brought into the forefront for all of us, into something practical. My sun is in Taurus and my Mercury is in Taurus in the 12th house. So I do believe I have a gift to touch into the non-physical dimensions. I'm quite intuitive, and to bring that information in and to present it into something very practical, something you can really apply. So that's my intention with the forecasts. And I really don't want to just talk astrological Babylonian, as I say. So I really like to translate it into plain English, into something you can work with. So I'm going to start out with kind of grasping the overall theme of the week, which this week has a lot to do with Venus and the heart. So we're going to talk about relationships and how you can navigate that most challenging field of experience in a better way. And then towards the end of the reading, the forecast, I'm going to talk about each day and what's happening each day, where the moon is, what's happening. And so it's going to get very concrete. And I will also give you the gemstone for the week, which is helpful to focus your intentions, to set an anchor, and to play with. You can meditate with it. If you have it in a piece of jewelry, you can wear it. So, excuse me, I am what they call an evolutionary astrologer. So in evolutionary astrology, just to give you a little background, we look at the chart, like this is a chart, that's how it looks, all the planets in the zodiac and how they interconnected. These are what we call aspects. So the chart with the planets is kind of the framework of what's going to happen. So with gemstones, we can use a specific frequency the gemstone is giving us to, first of all, we can just work with the energy and bring it into our field, but we can also use it as a focal point. So there are kind of two ways we work with gemstones. So, and you can meditate with gemstones consciously, so you can lay down, put them on your third eye, put them on your heart. So, or if you have jewelry, you can wear and pick your piece you want to wear quite consciously. So today I'm wearing a necklace of pearls, which is very balancing emotionally. So it's a moon signature pearls have. So okay, let's dive in. So as you know, if you have been following me, I'm not a fortune teller. So my whole approach is that you are creating your own future depending on your state of consciousness. And I haven't found a way to become more aware and self-conscious than astrology in all the studies I have done. And then of course there are then many ways how we can implement the awareness and the consciousness we receive through astrology. So if you're interested in astrology, evolutionary astrology as I teach it, you want to make sure to sign up for your newsletter. There is a link there and there. So I can keep you in the loop with all the new moon, full moon, Mercury retrogrades, the weekly forecasts, and so on. So you will also get access to your own birth chart and what I call the Lovestone report, which is really very fitting for what we're going to talk about today. So the coming week overall is quite one compared to what we have been going through the last few weeks. So I want to use this quietness to use that time to consciously settle ourselves into a place where we consciously create and take the next step into the direction we want to go. And what's in the forefront is Venus activity. So Venus is going to go into the next sign, Aquarius. So Venus is kind of still not... Venus is a pretty fast-moving planet. So it's every 19 days it steps into a new sign. So Venus is moving into Aquarius this Wednesday. And today, as of today, the moon is in Aquarius. And Aquarius is a sign of the rebel. So it's an invitation to really look at our life, our relationships, our intimate relationship, our family structures, and to really have a look if this is really happening the way we want it. And then, of course, when we become aware of where the problems are and actually where we want to go, we might readjust how we go about that. So the emphasis this week, as I see it, is really to take a deeper look at the needs of your heart. So the needs of the heart are, we are social entities, we are social beings, so we need that connection with the other. Doesn't matter if it's our connection with our family, our intimate connection with our lover, friends, co-workers. Of course, the closer people are, so more important it is for us that that energy is flowing kind of clean, and that there's a balance there. So first of all, when you get your chart, you will find, this is the symbol for Venus, so you will find out where your Venus position is. And then with a Lovestone report, you will get a gemstone I suggest to help strengthen your own balance in your heart. And the heart is really an interesting chakra in the 7 main chakras, because it's a middle chakra. So the heart is really where we balance between the heavens and the energy we can feel and bring in from there, and the earth, the material realm. So the heart is kind of this alchemical place, and however we are in our heart and deal with the needs of our heart, this will go a long way towards us being happy or not. All right. Hi Sherry, hi Doris. Good to see you. Thanks for joining. So anyway, so The Venus in your heart will give you a lot of information what you truly need in your heart to make a relationship work for you. And I really want to point out that those needs are very different depending on where the Venus is in your chart. So in general we say, yes, Venus is the goddess of love and harmony and balance and intimacy and pleasure and passion, and yeah, it's a goddess of love. So we all have an idea what Venus is about. But nevertheless, Venus and relationships, I believe, are always the most challenging areas in our life. I mean, when we are in love, we fall in love with a new person, there is this sense of honeymoon and the emotions are high and we're very excited and passionate, and that's a really good feeling. But then when we're in a breakup phase and things are not working well, then it can create the biggest suffering and pain. So to get it right, the Venus in your chart will give you a lot of information what you're looking for. And as I said before, those needs are different for individuals. Some people, like for example, if you have Venus in Aquarius in your birth chart, you do need a lot of freedom and spaciousness in your relationship. And Venus in Aquarius would mean that's the energy we kind of tapping in today because the moon is in Aquarius. So in Aquarius, what we really after is to have this eye-to-eye connection with the other. So it's really about friendship. And as the Indian guru Osho, Rajneesh, was talking about in relationships, that when you have friendship as the base of a relationship, that's the highest quality you can achieve. So if you have Venus in Aquarius in your birth chart, that's really something you're after. You need that respect, that quality of respectful being with each other in that quality of friendship. That's the base you're looking for. So then if you, for example, if you have Venus in Taurus, the most important thing for you is that you have somebody you can count on. Somebody you live together, you have that closeness, that bonded tribal feeling. So security, commitment are very important. So you can just see by these two examples that we all carry in some ways different needs, how the relationship we are after, which work for us, are showing up. But of course, overall, there are some general needs we all have. So I want to talk more about the general needs for you today. So last week, I think I talked about how we need to be aware what we feed into our mind, because this is how we impact our consciousness. This is how we how can I say, the mind is a filter for understanding the world out there, and then it trickles down into the emotional body, into the physical body, so we can impact the body, mind and soul system from all directions. So what we put into our mind is a big way, because this is kind of what we're conscious about, what we take in. What we take into our heart is a whole different thing, because it often happens just under the surface of thoughts, of awareness. So one suggestion I have for you this week is to consciously find ways to create and satisfy that balance in your heart, that need for love, for connection, for interaction. So things you could do, first of all, in your intimate relationship, which is really a framework for the biggest challenge, but also the biggest growth we have. So ask for what you need. What a concept, right? So we always expect, okay, I shouldn't say always, but we often expect from our partners that they read our mind. We have said something once, or maybe twice or three times, and we expect them to remember and to act on it. So I think it's something we really need to learn in the relationship, to really express our thoughts and our needs, and not to wait for our partner to read our mind. It's not gonna happen. So I have a friend. Her name is Nyasu Carter, and she's a Tantra teacher here on Maui. She does individual sessions with people. But what I want to point towards today, because of the subject we're discussing here, is that she has made a wonderful audio series, and you can find it on Amazon. It's called Tantra Sex for the Soul, Nyasu Carter. And this is all about deepening your intimacy, and how sexuality is really such an important part in the way how we relate, how we can feel naked and truly intimate with somebody. So in general, Tantra is an Eastern teaching where it's really about bringing up the energy from the first chakra all the way up to the crown chakra. And this is really, when you use that energy consciously, it's really about enlightenment. That's what's happening up here. So in this audio training she does, she gives certain exercises for you with your partner, and it's really a good way to become very aware how you do relationship, and how you hinder the intimacy in a relationship, and how you can have a more fulfilling, deep, intimate way of relating and sexuality. So if you feel like your relationship can use a little inspiration and boost in that direction, you might want to check it out. So I also did an interview with Nyasu about relationships and intimacy. So I have it on my YouTube channel, Shakti Carola Navran, so you can search for it there. I'm going to see if I can find it and put it in a comment down there, so you can listen to that and check her out. Okay, on a general level, I know I have talked about Tony Robbins and his work before, and he talks about the 6 human needs. The 4th human needs is love and connection, so I think we're clear about that. We all have that need. But the 6th need he talks about is about contribution and sharing, being of service to something bigger than our own little ego perspective. And you heard me talking about the wave in the ocean, how we are the wave but simultaneously the ocean. So if we only identified with the tip of the ocean, which is 5 to 10% of our individual consciousness, the wave, this is actually quite a place of separation, and this is where we feel separated and usually not very happy. And so more we can tap into the field I call the collective, or the divine, where we all connected. When we can connect with that field, that overall field of consciousness, of all that is, of oneness, then we're happy, then we feel connected, then we feel inspired, we feel creative. And I believe this is something we are all after. So this is something you could ask yourself, especially now heading towards Christmas. What's Christmas about for you? Is it just about giving presents and receiving presents because you feel obligated? Or is it to really share and contribute something meaningful from your heart? And it might be more meaningful to give your time and your energy. If you have a nephew, take him out, do something, instead of just piling material gifts on top of him. So these experiences we can share might stick in their memories much longer than some kind of toy. Just some ideas I want to share here. Okay, so if you have been following me, you know I'm an evolutionary astrologer, so I do these one-on-one astrological counseling sessions. I also teach astrology with my Master Astrology Academy. I'm going to put the link down there for you in case you really want to learn how to read a birth chart. I'm a published author. I wrote a book, Jewelry and Gems for Self-Discovery, which is actually an introduction into astrology, and then the connection with all the gemstones, which are your personal birthstones. And yeah, and then I do all these forecasts for you, and of course you can learn a lot by just following me on a regular basis, because I'm going to discuss all these different planets and the sign and the low end and the high end meaning of that. Okay, so this week Venus stepping into Aquarius on Wednesday, the moon enters Aquarius today, then we'll go into Pisces, Aries and Taurus throughout the week. Okay, so if you have questions, you can already get ready, put them down there in the comment box, so I get to that at the end of the forecast. And I will answer questions also if they come in from people who listen to the recording on YouTube. So say hi. I need to hear back what your questions are, how you like my work. So make sure you like the video, so it helps with the ranking. Okay, today the moon enters Aquarius, so everything I've been talking about so far is about the Venus and the attunement of the heart. The moon really points into the same direction. So I believe this week with the moon and Venus in Aquarius, at least starting out in Aquarius with the moon, is really about getting back to that place of connecting with the other in a more neutral way, in a more true way. Because especially in long-term relationships, when is the last time you really saw your partner for who he or she is? We tend to develop an image, an idea who the other one is. And you might know that when you visit your family and they still look at you the same way they did 20 years ago. Huh? So we tend to crystallize our perception into a very tight way of perception. So this week is actually an invitation to really recreate that sense of who the other person truly is, to be renewed, to have a breakthrough into a new level of awareness and consciousness in the relationship with the other. So I believe that's a wonderful thing. Okay, tomorrow, Sunday, that's a really quiet day with harmonious aspects between the moon, with Sun, Jupiter and Saturn. So I think we all deserve to have a little quieter day here after all the excitement we had the last weeks. So every moment in time where we can really settle down into our own heart, into our own roots, to our own sense of ground and beingness in the world is helpful. Because the moon is still in Aquarius, it's a wonderful day to try out those new muscles in your relationship and to break some rules, to break the mold, to try out something new, to do something unusual. So you might want to take out your spouse to do something adventurous, or to have a brunch out there in a great breakfast place, or something different. Try to do something different and really enjoy the day. That's the energy of Sunday. Monday, moon enters Pisces. So Pisces is the last sign of one circle of evolution. And then we step into the next round of, I call it emotional maturation process. That's what's happening throughout the months. So in Pisces, there's always some kind of integration happening. And we have been through one cycle of learning, of growth, and it brings us to that place where we have more compassion and a more emotional integrated way of being in the world. So Pisces is a sign of the mystic. It's ruled by Neptune, so it's about unconditional love and connection. So that's kind of what's possible on Monday. could also mean that you feel very vulnerable. Pisces is water, very vulnerable, but also very inspired. So Pisces, Moon in Pisces kind of connects us from the top of our wave all the way down into the divine, into all that is. So that could make for a very creative and inspired day. Also remember, the Sun in Sagittarius is heading towards Saturn, so we're probably going to discuss that more in depth next week. But so far, Sun in Sagittarius, that is our Sun is symbolizing our identity, our consciousness, filtering reality and creating reality that way. So in Sagittarius, we want to understand, we want to have the bigger picture. So Sun in Sagittarius always is interested in philosophy, in a meaningful way of self-perception in the world. And astrology is just one wonderful way to get that and connect with that. Okay, then Tuesday, more of the same, Moon conjuncts Neptune in Pisces, so that's kind of double. Neptune, the ruler of Pisces, Moon in Pisces in conjunction with Neptune. So again, a very inspired, potentially very inspired, creative day, but you will feel very vulnerable. And because Neptune in Pisces is so connected with the morphogenetic field of all that is, that vulnerability might connect you to something which is not just your own feelings. So we are connected to all that is. And again, make sure you are conscious with what energies you're attracting and bringing into your mind consciously and into your heart. So I just cancelled a lot of political newsletters today because I just don't want that impact anymore. It's just too horrific what's going on out there. So I, for myself personally, choose to focus on where I can make a change in individual lives with my people, with my clients, with listeners. And I believe that's the PowerPoint we ultimately have. So that's Tuesday. Wednesday, the 7th, Venus enters Aquarius and Moon conjuncts Chiron. So I have talked enough about the Venus and Aquarius, so let's focus on the Moon conjunction to Chiron. Chiron is a wounded healer, so it's the archetype showing us where in our chart, depending on where the Chiron is, we need to do our healing work, our individual attention, and where we can and will be able to heal ourselves. So in my own process throughout the years, and I have migraines and lots of stuff going on, my process is really more and more that I have to focus on what I can do with changes in my diet, exercises, a different lifestyle, than waiting for a healer out there to fix me. I've tried that. Didn't really work for me. So I think the only thing with Chiron is to really become aware of stepping into that self-responsibility of taking steps and do your healing work. So when the Moon conjuncts Chiron, there's an invitation to feel the wounds in your heart, to feel the emotional places where things are not just balanced and flowing. So that awareness will be available for all of us on Wednesday. Then Thursday the 8th, Moon enters Aries, and with that starts a new journey through the zodiac. Aries is a beginning energy, is a pioneer, is a warrior who's passionate about something, bringing a certain forceful energy to the front. So emotionally, with the Moon in Aries, we need to find something we are passionate about. And then we are willing to take steps to implement, to do something, to implement our awareness and the decisions and choices coming out of that. But if it's only happening in your mind and you don't take action steps, it's probably not going to happen. So for me, it's always about setting your point of attention very clearly. The law of attraction, then, if you raise your frequency, will bring certain manifestations into your field to be able to manifest, but you have to be active. You then have to go out, you have to take action. So it's really this kind of coming together of that inner work and then going to the world and do something about it. Friday the 9th. That is an interesting day with the moon squaring Pluto, moon opposing Jupiter, and moon conjuncting Uranus. So that's kind of more of a day where there might happen some kind of shake-up, some kind of something coming at you, and you have to deal with something. And with Pluto in the mix, it often has to do with something we haven't quite been aware of yet, and now we are able to deal with something which has been unconscious, under the threshold of your personal consciousness. So, and with Uranus, there's always that quality, that possibility of a breakthrough into a new level of consciousness. But to get there, you first have to face the music, and that's the moon square Pluto. So don't be too upset and don't take it too personal if something is ruffling your feathers on Friday. And then next Saturday, when we come back together again, moon enters Taurus. So that's kind of a day for grounding, for being very physically aligned with your body, treating your body like your temple of your soul. So moon in Taurus is always a day kind of settling down, smelling the roses, take things a little slower, and to really make sure you're comfortable in this body. So whatever it takes, I often say it's a good day to have a massage, to really enjoy the physical sensations this body is able to give us. Of course, Taurus is also very sensual, sexual in a very concrete way, and again, that's a wonderful way to really reap the benefits of being in a body. Okay, then let's go to the gemstone of the week. So I would say for the healing of the heart, we have already discussed ruby and rose quartz in weeks before. So today I want to talk a little bit about the rubellite. The rubellite is a pink tourmaline, and the tourmaline comes in the whole variety of colors, and so it's connects to all the chakras depending on the color the tourmaline has. So the pink tourmaline, the rubellite, connects us to the heart. And it's kind of the in-between stone between the rose quartz and the ruby. So the rose quartz we have discussed is a stone where the emphasis is on self-love and healing your own wounds. Tourmaline kind of does that too, but it already opens us then from that place of healing towards the other, so we can kind of let the love flow. We can connect from that high level of frequency with others. And then remember when we talked about the ruby, that's a stone of unconditional love. So as I see it, the rubellite is really the stepping stone between those two qualities. On one hand, it helps a personal process of healing and connecting with your own needs and self-love. It's where we all have to do our own work. And as a result of that, then the heart is more open and we're truly able to overflow, to be compassionate, to be connected, to be generous. So the generosity of the heart, I believe that's what the rubellite is about, and therefore it connects us with the energies I have been talking about for this week. Good, so let's see what we have in the way of questions. Hi Sabina. So, okay, no questions here, too bad. I always love when you challenge me here a little bit, and I know what you really want me to talk about. So keep leaving me your questions and comments. I will always go back to it once a day and check it and will answer. The very general questions, will I meet a companion? Will I win the lottery? These are questions I will not answer because I cannot. The future is not set in stone, remember. So I'm not a fortune teller. But I can answer questions about astrology. You can share your sun position or any planets you have in Aquarius, because Aquarius is so much in the forefront this week, and I can give you a thought or two about that. Okay, thank you so much for listening and following. Make sure you subscribe if you are on YouTube. Sign up for my newsletter on my website so you don't miss out on any forecasts and interviews or things I'm doing. So I will put the link in for that audio teaching I've been talking about, and I will do a full moon video next week on, let's see, Tuesday at 1 Hawaiian Standard Time. I will have a full moon live call with you, and afterwards you can connect with the recording. So thanks for joining. Aloha, many blessings, and I'll see you very soon.